Masechta Bava Basra Daf Kuf Lamed Zayin Amid Aleph. We're starting from Kuf Lamed Vav Amid Beis from Vahatanya. The last line. Yesterday we learned a machlekes between Rabbi Yochanan and Reish Lakish. And Rabbi Yochanan and Reish Lakish argue if Guf HaPeres is Kikinyan Karkadami, is the Guf HaPeres considered Kikinyan Aguf Dami is considered as being kind in the karka itself, or according to Rabbi Yochanan, the Kinyan HaPeres is Kikinyan Aguf Dami, and according to Reish Lakish, Kinyan HaPeres is Lav Kikinyan Aguf Dami. So the Gemara want to ask on Reish Lakish that holds that Kinyan Haguf is Lav Kinyan HaPeres is Lav Kinyan Haguf Dami. So we brought a case where one said Nechasai, my Nechasim should be given to you, and then after you die, it should go to Shimon, and after Shimon it should go to Levi. So what happened in this case was that the Rishon was still alive. The second one died in the lifetime of the Rishon. And then the Rishon died, so we don't say it goes to the Shlishi, because the Shlishi is dependent on the Sheni, but the Sheni never got it, because the Sheni died in the lifetime of the Rishon. So where does the Peiris and the Karka go? To the Rishon's Yarshim. So the question is, if you hold that Kinyan HaPeiris is Lav Kinyan Haguf Dami, and here we know he only really gave him the usage of the Peiris, because he told him, I'm giving you the Karka only for your lifetime, but when you pass away, you have to give away the karka. That means he only got to use the utilities of the sada, the payers of the sada. And nevertheless, according to Shlakish, payers is not considered as considered as kikinyan gufa karka. So why is it that when the sheni died in the lifetime of the Rishon, and then the Rishon dies, it goes to the Yesh of the Rishon, l'cheira, the Rishon only got the kinyan ha-peiris, and according to the Shlakish, you're not kind of the Gufa Karka. It should go back to the Yeshim of the Noiset. So the Gemara said there's a difference. Over here, really, Kinyan, the reason why it goes to the Yeshim, really, Kinyan Peiris is Lav Kinyan Aguf Dami. It shouldn't go to the Yeshim. Here it's different because he used the Lashon Acharecha. Acharecha means that he's kind of the Gufa Karka, that the Rishon is able to even sell the karka, and whatever left over from the Rishon goes to the Sheni. That means he's kind in the Gufa Karka. But we learned in the Braisa Faket, it does not go to the Yoshe of the Rishon. Tanya, we learned in the Braisa Yasel Yoshe Neisen. It goes to the Yershim of the one that gave the karka, which means that the Kinyan Peiris is Lav Kinyan Haguf. Is a kasha on Rabbi Yochanan. How will he explain that according to Rabbi Yochanan, why should it go to the Yesh of the Nesin? It should go to the Yesh of the Rishon, because according to Rabbi Yochanan, Kinyan Peiris is Kinyan Gufa Karka. So the Gemara answers, according to Rabbi Yochanan, Tanoi, these two braises is the machlekes of Tanoim. If you hold Kinyan Peiris is Kinyan Gufa Karka or not. The second braisa that says that it goes to the Yesh Rishon, obviously Yesh of the Noisen, of the one that gave the Matana, because he says the Rishon was never kind the Karka, because that Tana holds Kinyan Peiris is Lav Kinyan Haguf Dami. And the first brayso where it says that it goes to the Yesh Rishon holds that Kinyan Peiris is Kinyan Gufa Karka, and that's why it goes to the Yesh Rishon, and that's what that Rabbi Yochanan holds like that Tana of the brayso. Where do we see that? The Tanya that we learned in the Braisa. One who says, my yours should be given to you, and if you die, it should be transferred to the next person. And the first person went, and he sold the Nechasim, and he consumed all the profits. The Sheni could come and to the Lekuchis and take out they filled miyada lekuchis from the hand of the lekuchis. Those are the words of Rabbi, which is mashma that the Rabbi holds that the kinyan peiris is lav kikinyan haguf, and therefore the first one had no right to sell the karka, and if the buyers bought it, the second one has the right to take away the karka. Rabbi Shimon Gamil ein l'sheni ela masha shiyarishin. Rabbi Shimon Gamil says the second one can only take what's left over by the first one. That means the first one who had the payers, not only is it kind of a payers, it's kinyan payers, kinyan gufa karka, and therefore he was allowed to sell it, and only whatever's left over. That's the whole thing that the sheni can get. That's how Rabbi Yochanan learns the machlekes of the two baraises. That is that they're arguing in the same machlekes of him and Rabbi Yochanan and Reish Lakish. Reish Lakish will say both braises will hold kinyan peiris lav ki kinyan aguf. It's not that kinyan peiris, you're not automatically kind of the guf hakarka. So how do we explain the two braises? They're arguing if the lashon of acharecha, when he uses acharecha, does it give him the koyach of being kind of the guf hakarka or not? So the Braisa that says it goes to the Yesher Yishain holds that it gives him the Acharacham gives him a power to sell the karka. He's kind of the karka, and Acharacham means whatever's left over. But according to the Braisa that says that it goes to the Yesher Naisen, holds that Acharacham is not a svara. He doesn't hold that he has the power to only give over the leftovers. Acharecha still means he only has a schus of the peiris, and therefore it goes to the Yershei of the Naisen. But really, everybody, according to Reish Lakish, he'll learn both braises according to his shita that kinyan peiris lav to kinyan aguf dami. It's not considered as being kind in the guf hakarka. In fact, the Gemara, we just learned the machlekes between Rabbi and Rabbi Shimon Gamil. I'm going to ask you a question. Yes, we have a stida. It says in the Braisa, he says, mine nechas should be given to you, and after you die, the plane should go to the next person. The first one can go and sell the nechasim and consume all the profits. Those are the words of Rabbi. Rabbi Shimon Gamil says, that the first one can only get the profits of the payers. Kasha the Rabbi and Rabbi. You have a contradiction from Rabbi and Rabbi, because Rabbi in the previous Braisa said that if the first one sold it to buyers, the second one could go and take it out of the hand of Kuchis. So Rabbi obviously holds that he was not kind of the karka. And according to this Braisa, it says that the first one could go ahead and sell it and consume the profits. Then you have a statement of Rabbi Shimon Gamil also. The previous Braisa said Rabbi Shimon Gamil says the second one only gets whatever's left over by the first one, and in this Braisa he says the second one, the first one only gets the payers. And Rabbi is not a kasha. The first Braisa that the second person could take out from the lekuches the karka is lekufa. He's talking about the gufa karka. And the second Braisa where it says that the mekabel arishin could sell it, the payda, he's referring to the paydas. Again, and Rabbi Shimon Gamil like kasha. Rabbi Shimon Gamil is also not a kasha. The second Braisa where he says that the mekabel arishin only gets the paydas, that's only l'chatchila. He shouldn't sell the guf nechasim and go against the will of the one who gave the matana. He should only sell the paydas. But over here in the first Braisa where it says that the makabel only gets whatever's left over by the Rishon, meaning that the Rishon could sell the karka, is b'diavad. It's talking about if he went ahead and he sold the karka, it's sold. Abaye said Ezo Rasha, or who is considered as a sly Rasha. This is a Mishnah Seita. Says one who gives advice to the person, the Naisen gave the first person the karka and said that after you die, you should give it to the Sheni. So some outsider comes and encourages him to sell the karka and telling him, because like this, it's going to go to the Sheni. Just so do like Rabbi Shimon Gamil, who says that if you sell everything, the Sheni only gets what's left over. And this one who gave the advice had no reason to give such an encouragement and go against what the will of the Noisan Matana was. So therefore he's considered as a sly Rasha. Omer Rabbi Yochanan, halach Rabbi Shimon Gamliel, the halach is like Rabbi Shimon Gamliel, that the second Makabel only gets what's left over from the Rishon. Umayda Rabbi Shimon Gamliel is Mayda She'im the son, on if the first Makabel gave his property, the Matna Shchimera, as a Matna Shchimera to his son, Lo Yasa Klum, or to another person, he did nothing. It's not considered as a Matana. After he dies, it doesn't go to the person who, as a Shchimera, he said to give it over to. My time, what's the reason? Abaya said, Matna Shchimera Leikana Elalacha Misa. The Matna Shchimera, the Matana that the Shchimera gave, is not the person who he gave it to is not going to be kaina only after a minute, after the person's completely had died, and at that time, then but the one that gave the matana and said if he dies he should give it to the next person didn't mean if he completely dies. While simultaneously, while he's dying and he has no use of this karka, should he automatically go to the sheni? So that happened before the Matna Shchimera takes place, because the Matna Shchimera takes place a minute after the death. And the Acharecha, that the Neis Matana said that after you die, you give it to the next person, goes while he's dying. Simultaneously, it's already going straight to the second person. In fact, did Abaya say that the Matna Shchimera is only chal after the death? Well, we learned Matna Shchimera may Masekana. One is the Matna Shchimera a kinyan that it gets transferred. The Matana goes to the person who he gave it to. While he's dying, but and Rabbi said after the death. So how could this? So Zakasha here Abai is saying in Gemamisa, so it should be a kinyan. The Matna Shchimera should be a Matana. And the one Abai Taka retracted and it holds like Rava that the Matna Shchimera is only la'achak ma'misa. In fact, how do we know he retracted? Abai retracted and he's made it to Rava that the Matna Shchimera happens after the death. Maybe he retracted from the halacha that the Matna Shchimera is not a kinyan, and really he's going to hold it as a kinyan. And he comes before the acharecha, before the second person who the Nason said it should go to. And I'll prove to you that everybody holds Matna Shchimera is only lachamis. It shouldn't enter your mind. It's not, because we learned before in the Mishnah. A person who gives a get to his wife and he says, Zek gitach imesi. He says, this get should be if he dies. Zek gitach mechelizeh. He says, this get should be chal after the sickness is done, meaning after he dies. Or he says, Zek gitach lach amisa. Like over here, he's giving a Matna Shchimera. He says, ulach amisa. Lo yama klum. We said it's nothing. Why is it nothing? Because ein get chal lach amisa. Same thing. Ein matana. A matana chala ela lachag ma'amisa. He wanted the show to be chal after misa, and then therefore, so since he only wanted it to be chal only la'achamisa and then go retroactive, but it's only la'achamisa, because if you say it's im gemamisa, then the get should be a get because it happened in his lifetime. So it's an ayat that the matan, so the get was only meant to be given only after the misa. So when it says matana la'achamisa, it was meant that the Tanai that it should go to Mafreya is only after the Misa. But while he's dying, the Acharecha kicks in first. The Nois Matana, who gave the first one, he says, when you finish Acharecha, after you can't use it, means while you're dying, it should go to the next one. That happened before the Matna Shchimera, which happened only a minute after the death, while the Acharecha happened while he was dying. Simultaneously, the second one was Kainet. That the second Makabel gets the leftovers, only the leftovers. The meaning the Makabel Rishon could sell everything. The halach is like even if he had avodim knanim and he freed them, the second one gets nothing. In fact, the Pshita, what is self-understood. If the first person has the full balabatishkat, he can do whatever he wants. I would have thought to say, We could say, the Noisim could say to the Makabel, listen, I gave you Taka as a Matana, you can Taka do whatever you want, but not to be Ivan Isa. Here's Avid Kanani, the Torah says, Laila Bahem Tabedu, they should always work for you, and here you went in freedom. Kamash Malan, therefore he comes to teach us. No, he gave him the Balabatish guy just like any other person who could go ahead and free the Avadim Knanim. Rabbi Yisrael, Rabbi Yechna, Allah, Rabbi Shimon Gamil. Rabbi Yisrael, name of Rabbi Yechna, Allah is like Rabbi Shimon Gamil, that Mekabel Rishain is allowed to do whatever he wants and he can sell. He's the Balabas. Even if he made Tachichim for a mace. Meaning, he made extra Tachichim, it was not needed for the mace, and now you can't use it. It's a Davar Pasha, he can do whatever he wants with it. I would have thought to say that the Noisim could say to the Mekabel Rishain, L'shavina Yisuri, Anah lo yahavina loch. I didn't give you the Nechasim in order to put it in a status that nobody could have enough for him. I gave you that people should be able to have enough of my mummy. By you making extra chichim, it's not even for the mace. You made extra which you cannot use for anything, and nobody could use it. So for that, I didn't give it. He said, no, nobody can have enough. I would have thought that they can say to Makabel, that's not what I gave it to you for. No. And he comes to teach us that he has the Balabatish guy to do whatever he wants. This Esig, I'm giving to you as a matana for the rest of your life. And after you die, transfer it leplaining to the next person. If the first one was Makayim the mitzvah of Dalad Minim, and he was Yaitzi, the Yecheves, the mitzvah of Dalad Minim, he made the bracha, it's fine. If he made the bracha. Says, it's there, we're coming to Machlekes between the Rebbe and Shimon Gamil if he was Yaitzi the Yecheva. According to Rebbe says he's not. Because the Esig is only Kinyan Peiris Bovad, is only a Kinyan and Peiris, and he doesn't hold Kinyan Peiris, it's Kinyan Agufa Karka. So if it's not Mamish his, you can't say Lach, and by the Dalaminim it says, Lakach Lachem. It's not Lachem. But according to Amishim Gabriel, Yotzvah, he's Yetzer. Why? Because if he wanted to eat it, this Esig, or sell it, he could do it. So it's called Lachem, and that's why he's Eitzer, according to Rabbi Shimon Gamil. Rav Nachman Rabbi Yitzchak, Ad kan le pli Rabbi Shimon Gamil Hasam. Rav Nachman Rabbi Yitzchak asked, they're not arguing in the previous vice, meaning by Acharecha, Ela Demar, Sava Kinyan Pedis, Kinyan Hagov Tami. Only with the gay, if the king of the Pedis gives them the Guf HaKarka also. Umasava Kinyan Pedis, Lav Kinyan Hagov Tami. And the other Tana holds, Rebbe holds it's not Kinyan Hagov Tami. It doesn't attach the karka to it. But over here, everybody agrees, but again, to the Kinyan and Pedis itself, he was kind of Pedis. And Yoyetza, Alahacha, only over here, it's talking about a case by Esek imafik le'nafik bey. If the first makabel is unable to be makam the mitzvah of dalad minim, lemay yahweh nehali. Then for what did the Nation give him this Esek? If he cannot fulfill the mitzvah, for what purpose did he give it? In this Esek, there's no other payers, there's no other schusim here. The only thing you could talk about, the Gufa Esek, the first makabel, if he can't sell it and he can't consume it according to Rabbi, so the Esek was given to the makabel Rishon for something. What did he give it for? If he can't sell it, he can't eat it, he's given for something. So therefore, you have to say he gave it to him to be Yaitza, the mitzvah of the Dalaminim. Therefore, you could call it Lachem, even according to Rabbi. And it's not similar to Esek of Shutvim, that is not considered Lachem, because nowadays we said that the first one, all his life, that he has the Esek, it's not Meshubah to the second person. Only after he finishes using it and he passes away, then it goes to the next person. But as long as he's living, the Esek is his to be Mekayim, the mitzvah of Esek. It's not called Shutvim. The second one doesn't have any chelik in it till the first one dies. Says the Gemara, therefore Rav Nachman Rabbi Yitzchak says, This machlekes of Rabbi Shimon Gamil is referring to a different din. Everybody holds Benegaya being Yates the Chayv of Esrik, the Dalminim, Nafi Pay. Everybody holds that the Makabal Harishain was Yates the Dalit Minim. But in Machra Ayachala, what's if he sold it or he consumed the Esrik? Banal Machlekes of Rabbi Shimon Gamil, there's a Machlekes between Rabbi and Shimon Gamil. According to Rabbi, the Makabal had no right to sell it or eat it. And if he did that, he has to pay back the money for the Esrik. But according to Rabbi Shimon Gamil, he has a right to do whatever he wants with it. He only has, whatever's left over, he has to give to the Sheni. So therefore, he doesn't have to pay back to the Sheni anything. Rabbi Huna said, a new Hayra. When he gave the Esek, his brothers that had an Esek before the Yerusha was divided. One of them grabbed the Esek and did the mitzvah of Dalad Mina with the Esek. If he's able to eat it below Yerusha, some Yotza, he's Yetza. So the Rashbam is saying it's talking about either there were other Esegim in the house for them to be able to, or there were other Esegim in the area to be able to get, to be Yetza the mitzvah, then it's not a problem. And or the other brothers were already Yetza. And we're saying over here, in love, but if the brothers didn't not makbid, I'm sorry, if the in love, if there was no other, okay. So Yatsid the Yetza. But we want to say by Rashbam is being Mitzayim that in his days the whole community had one esrog. Everybody had a part in that esrog. So everybody who was Yetz the mitzvah esrog, everybody would be. They didn't have to even say it explicitly. They would be makna their chelek to the person who is now being mekayim the mitzvah almanas, that it should go to the next person with the same conditions. But we say is Yetza because the brothers are makna their chalakim to the person who to the brother who is mekayim the mitzvah. But if the brothers were makbid, and so you're not allowed to eat it without their reshus, la yotza, then it's not called lachem. It's not Yetza because lachem means it has to be all his and not part of it. And we said it's talking about that each one of the brothers have an esek. Avol, if there's only a parish, quince, or yerimun, or pomegranate, loy. One brother cannot be Yetzidei Chavasi with the esek without the reshus of the other brothers, unless the other brothers were maknat a chelik to him for him to be able to be kaina. Amar Rabbi said, "Esek zeh nas lechad matana amanashet erzeyu li." He says this esek is given to you as a matana on the condition you return it to me. Nitalav yatzabay, he took the esek and he was yetza. Herziru, if Nitalav yatzabay, he took it in order to be yetza the chayv of the dalabinim. Herziru, if he returned it yatza, then he's yetza. Because it's Nizbaral Mafreya that the Matana was Chal because he fulfilled it tonight, he gave it back. Lo Yazida, but if he didn't return it to the owners, he sold it and he consumed it, Lo Yotza. He's not the Yotza with the Esek, the Chayv of the Mitzvah of Esek. Since he didn't fulfill it tonight by returning it, is Nizbaral Mafreya, then the Matana wasn't Chal and the Esek was never his to begin with. And what does he come to teach us? Kamash Malon, then the Matana, Manas Lahazash Matana. That if somebody gives a matana amanas that you return it to him, it's called a matana. It's a good matana. So he eats. So there was this woman. There's even a shaila. How far is he kainet? That meaning if they use the esek, do you have to be maknet? Because he was completely kainet, or do we say he doesn't have to be maknet back? He was kainet only for a limited time, and then automatically he goes back to the original owner. Okay, so you want to buy the esek. So there was this woman, one woman, the Havalo Dikla, she had a date tree. The Ara de Rabbi Barabaya, in the land of Rabbi Barabaya. Every time she went to cut off some paydays, have a cup of love. Rabbi was makbid and would hold back her from going. He would say, "You're trampling over my seeds." Aknis in the Halak, she was makbid this date tree to Rabbi Lechol Shnei for his whole lifetime. And then it should go back to her or to her Yosha. Bibi went. He went ahead and he was makne to his son that's a minor. First of all, what's the reason that he was allowed to do it lechatchila? Because this that the Gamshim Gamil said that lechatchila you shouldn't do it if the Neis Matana said v'acharecha lepleni. But here it doesn't say v'acharecha lepleni. Here it was like v'acharecha la'atzma for herself. So that's why he said he felt lechatchila is allowed to sell it. He was makned his dekel dafka to the bnei hakatan. It says. So the Rashbam says because why to the cotton? Because he shouldn't be able to be makneh to the others, to back to her. Or another teretz is that it wasn't a cotton; he gave it to his younger grandchild, who was an adult. He sold it to him, and that's it. And he would have enough in the payers because he was samach al shulchanai. He used to eat by him, so he would be able to take the payers from what he sold to his son. Because you come from the city of Malay, Abibi was the son of Abaya, who was from the descendants of Eliakim. And the Mashal says that the Malay means that it's a Lashon Kodesh, that they didn't live long because of the klala that was given to Eli. So it's because you live in such a place where the life is cut off. Therefore, you could say things that Amrita Mile Mulyasa. Therefore, you could say Dvarim Krusim, cut off words that have no meaning to it. Even Ramshim Gamil, who paskin that the Makabel Sheni gets only what was left from the Rishain, Leikama Ella La'ache. He only said it if the Makabel Rishain is going to pass, will transfer in the Chasim. He meant that it should be transferred to another person. He says, okay, if you use it yourself, you only have to give the leftovers. But if the Tanai was that after you use it, he told him, you can use it all your lifetime, but it should go back to him. Loi, the Mechira of the Makabel is not Chal. He says the Makabel Rishna has no right to sell it because she wanted it should go back to her. Here we know for sure for herself, she never wanted it. It should be to give him all that power that she should never get it back. And therefore, according to Rav Huna, Berei Rav Yeshua, he says that it's not a sale. Says this ox is being given to you as a matana on the condition that you return it to me. And he went, Hikdishu, the Makabel was Makdashit, and he returned it. Says it's considered Hegdish. And he was Mekayim the Tanai. Because nothing, he gave it back. What did the Makabel return? Meaning, when he made the Tanai with the Nais made the Tanai with him that he has to return it, his kavanah was that he should return it in a oifen that he should be able to use it. And since he was Makdashit, he's unable to use it. What did the Makabel make him lose? He gave him back a complete share. Ravashi says, Chazina, we look into how the one who gave it stated his Tanai. If he said, on the condition that you return it, and he didn't say to me, he did return it. But if he said, that you should return it to me, something that's fit for me to be able to use, he said only something that's for me fit to use. I said the word li, that I can use it. But when you made it hekdesh, I cannot use it. Therefore, when I Chatchila told you that it has to be returned in such a way, so you had no power to be magdish it because it was with a t'nai that it has to be returned in the way that I get it back in the way that I could use it.